Collective, here is the word, and hear me when I say, you guys, it's been a long time and I haven't been on here, but I love you guys and I want to let you guys know that I love you. Okay, I'm going to follow the rhythm here, and this is what's coming up. Okay, a lot of us, perhaps all of us, have been under review. Okay, I'm picturing, picture Santa Claus going through the list, the naughty list, the nice list. Okay, we have been under review. Okay, and so while every single one of us have been under review, judgment is to come. Yes, judgment is to come, because justice is to come. Justice is to be served. Judgment and the day of judgment. Judgment day is when we have, and he has, concluded and have decided that this is what it is. Because you see, while we are down here and he's up there and our spirit team is up there, they're watching us and everything. And so while we have been in deep review, there are things now being presented to you, collective. You're experiencing it in this season, and either you're very calm about it, or you have been very calm about it, or you haven't been. Now, hear me when I say this, okay? That we are going to have a tendency to act on certain things and to behave a certain way when we are feeling guilty, right? When we feel guilt inside, we either confess, admit to our faults, ask for forgiveness, or we do the opposite, sometimes even resulting in getting into trouble that we didn't expect to get into, but because we feel so much of that guilt, it's like our nervous system is going to be out of whack, and then we are going to act on certain things and behave a certain way that is not of order. So a lot of us that have been feeling guilty, your mind is delusioned. I'm hearing you could even be hallucinating, making stuff up in your mind, creating stuff in your mind and telling yourself, I didn't do this. This is not true, when in fact it is true. Because like I said, while we are down here and they're up there, they're seeing a lot of the truth that is happening down here. And whether we like to admit to ourselves or not, okay? And I feel the need to say, okay, my assignment is to speak of what is fair. And I truly believe that I was assigned to speak of what is fair. Okay, I went through a lot in my childhood of the things that I felt was not fair. But I've had to come into terms with myself and knowing what is fair and what was done to me, right? Justice is to be served, and perhaps justice has been serving itself. And hear me when I say this, okay? And I thought that this was going to be a real, but you know what? Let's go ahead and just continue on since we're already here. And I'm following the rhythm here, you guys, that justice is to be served, okay? And this is what Spirit wanted me to speak about, okay? And I'm gonna just shuffle some cards here while we are at it. Maybe some affirmations. Okay, it is like a time to delegate differentiate, eliminate. Eliminate whether we like it or not. Okay. This is about confirmation and maybe even validation. Okay, I'm following the rhythm here. This is about what is fair. This has been about what is fair. Okay, and so while a lot of us are, I'm getting a lot of us are, excuse me, getting away with what is not good, and you have been getting away with what is not good, and the numbers here have been aligned. I keep seeing, earlier I just seen 333 and then 444 and then 555. Okay. While some of us have been getting away what is not good, you are one to be under reviewed. So perhaps this person also may be the one trying to run away and walk away from their own faults and mistakes. And these are the people right now, collective. And hear me when I say, okay, this is the people right now who are running away and walking away from their mistakes and their faults. They know this, that they did something wrong. They know they had done something unfair, but they keep creating stuff in their mind. This is where our mind gets tricky, and this is where our mind becomes our enemy, because then we get dishonest. When we don't feel ease inside, we have a tendency to lie. When you are feeling guilty, you have a tendency to lie even more. When it's like, ooh, I just got this feeling in my tummy of like resisting, and like there's like a knot, right? Like when somebody is lying about something and they just cannot keep it inside, that's the energy that I'm getting right now, you guys. And I'm following the rhythm here as I pick up some cards here. Okay, heavy emphasis on these signs: Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, and I got that also when I was shuffling on some cards. Okay, and I haven't been on here, you guys, and as much as I would like to be on here lately, I've been also doing the work for myself, and it's necessary, because this is what is getting rid of what is not good. Literally, this is what just came up. Heavy emphasis on passion. Heavy emphasis on our anger and rage that has now become passion, and a lot of it that we're carrying inside of us. Do you know where this comes from? I'm hoping that we all know where this comes from, because I feel like at this point we've really gotten to know the anger within, being it transmuted into, I'm getting like you looking at something that you just created and you're going to yourself, I can't even believe that I created this. This is what our collective is going through right now. There is so much random things that I'm picking up right now. Like there's a lot of us experiencing so many random things. A lot of us are experiencing weird, odd things. Okay, and this is the energy I'm picking up. And it's because this is to shake us up. I'm getting like heavy tower moments. Okay. And this passion is coming from not just trauma, you guys. And yes, a big part of it is trauma, okay? But I feel like the passion here comes from the injustice. The passion that we are all feeling right now. And I'm getting like, this is the energy I'm getting for some of us. Okay, you've created an album. You created an album you haven't shared with anybody. You haven't really actually sat with it, okay? You created an album, you created a book, you wrote a book, you had written something, you created something, and you're looking at it and you're going, who do I share this with? Is this to be shared? Is this even valuable? Okay, at this time, you guys, while we are being reviewed, we are under review. Do you hear me when I say that while we are being reviewed right now, a lot of us are so fueled by passion. We're fueled by passion because a lot of that was anger from the injustice that you had experienced. And hear me, collective, that can look different for every single one of us. Yeah, that can look different for every single one of us. The injustice that you experienced, and not just from injustice from when you were a little kid, because a lot of us are like jumping in a fucking time machine right now and going back to our fucking childhood all of a sudden, right? It's that season. And so what I'm getting here is that you jumping into that time machine, and now not just from what happened to you in your childhood and the trauma that you experienced, but also the patterns after that. When we have endured so much trauma in our lifetime as an adult, you are going to have patterns, and not one that is of good. I'm getting, oh, thank you, Spirit. I love you so much. This is a season to delegate what is good and what is not good. This is what is being reviewed. Remember when I said about the image I got of Santa Claus going through the naughty list and the nice list? Hence, we're going into the season, okay? We're going into the holidays. It is a time to settle things and to get fair. And the fire also is coming from people. Okay, and hear me when I say this. And Lord Jesus, you are a shield around us, okay? Strong in love, heavy with power. But when I say that this fire also comes from the people who have done you wrong, and the fire that they're feeling inside, that they are trying to comprehend. This isn't about, man, this is deep. This isn't about, like, not just about what one had done to somebody and the wrong that they had done to somebody, because they know they had done wrong to somebody, right? And hear me when I say this, this is becoming super, super specific. They know they had done something wrong. Consciously, perhaps they were very aware that they had done something wrong because it was done intentionally. Now, this person is going, but why did I do that thing to somebody intentionally? I'm getting this image of somebody going, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Like, and frantic. Somebody is going, why did I do that? Why did I do that? Like, right? It's like when somebody does something wrong and after they feel guilty, it's like the feeling of the guilt coming over them, right? And it's like you're looking at your hands and you're like, what have I done with my hands? Now I have bloody hands. Now I have dirty hands. Now what do I do with the dirt on my hands now that I know that I've done something and I feel guilty? And this is so amazing. And it's like, now that I know that I've done this wrong and I have dirt on my hands, I have blood in my hands, how do I get rid of this? Please get rid of it. But, you know, in that moment, I'm getting like some of us, and I feel like it's going to get deep and serious, that some of us, when we are in this moment, when we feel the guilt and we're looking at our hands, our dirty hands, and we're going, what have I done? Not all of us are going to redirect their mind to what is good. The guilt is going to rise and become danger. Danger, danger, danger. That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm hearing. Like, when we feel the guilt within, and this is deep, it's a deeper wound. When we feel the guilt, and then we keep on covering it with more guilt and more lies. Now, we've completely forgotten at this point what is good, what is right, what is just. Now, at this point, we've completely forgotten what it's like to actually be real and true to yourself. So you're feeling all of this anger too, somebody who did something wrong. You're feeling all of this anger in yourself. Why did I do this to myself? Why did I do this to this person? Why did I even thought about doing that? I feel like this is the part where I say that this is why self-care and self-soothe, it is so vital at this point for us collectively, because this is where it all starts. Because we're not self-aware, because our focus is somewhere else, and our focus is also distracted. For some of you guys, heavy emphasis on distraction in this season. For a lot of us, and not just some of us, and I'm going to reword that. When I say for a lot of us, we are distracted, and we have become distracted. I'm going to pull up some more cards because I feel like fear has run its course. Fear has a lot to do with what we are all feeling at this time. Fear has taken over people's minds and people's decisions and choices. I just got that. Okay. I'm going to make some room here. And I feel like fear has become stronger than what love can really bring. And although, yes, right, we know that love is big and heavy, and it can change and literally move mountains, right? The energy of love can move mountains. But fear at this time has taken over people's minds, and perhaps a lot of the cause and effect is coming from what is in the mind and our intentions. So let's look at it this way, okay? This is what I'm getting, that while we may be carrying a lot of guilt and even shame also takes away a lot from us, our potential, how we see ourselves, our essential, right? Shame can really affect our self-esteem, and we start to look at ourselves as somebody who is not worthy. When one is carrying a lot of shame and one is carrying a lot of fear in oneself, you have no trust in anyone. And you have no trust for this world. I'm getting that for a lot of us, we have been in that space of not wanting to trust, not trusting, not in trust. So perhaps this is why things are changing, because he wants us to have trust, in trust with him, and in trust with you. But you see a lot of this guilt and a lot of the shame that a lot of us are carrying. And take it as it resonates, you guys. And I feel like when I say to take it as it resonates, it's like it's going to resonate with you anyway, and you're going to hear it instantly if it is resonating. But when you hear it, you're going to hear it. Does that make sense? Like when you hear it connecting with you, it's an instant connection. But if you don't, it's not yours, right? The fear, the shame that some of us may be holding on to is what is causing the mishaps, the glitches. The lack of self-awareness is what is causing a lot of this fire, literally wildfire around the world. As within, so without. Right? As within, so without. What we are in here is exactly what we are experiencing in front of us, outside of us. And so while we have been in review, I don't think we're doing so well. I'm getting that we're either here or we're here. Loyalty. Where you have been with yourself. It comes down to how have you been treating yourself? How have you been treating yourself? How have you been with yourself, to yourself? I said I was going to get some affirmation, but I never got affirmation, so I'm going to pull some. Okay. Also, I want to say heavy emphasis on Cancer, on our Cancers. Okay. I said Leo earlier and Sagittarius. And then this just came out. Okay. I just felt a lot of that fire right now, you guys. And you know what? I feel like the fire is either anger and rage or it is passion. And the fire also is anger. And a lot of that anger that we have been holding on to. Okay. I'm getting that this is a make or break. This is a time to make or break. Okay, hear me when I say that, and that's what's coming up. It's a make or break. Okay. Whatever it is that is flourishing. Okay, whatever it is that is coming to light, whatever it is that is being presented to you, it is perhaps an opportunity, a chance to take it if you are so willing to choose it. Or it is a time to let some things come apart, because only then will we really understand certain things and perhaps maybe even seeing it in a different light, in a different perspective. You see, tower moments occur because some things need to shift, need to go, need to be removed, it needs to be disposed, it needs to be just let go. And so while some of us are being broken, literally our hearts is being opened for us to really get into man, it's like it's been so heavy, it's been tough, right, for a lot of us. And I'm hearing it's like we can't keep up, right? We feel defeated. We still feel defeated for a lot of us. I feel like this is what I'm picking up right now, okay? We feel defeated. We have been feeling defeated. It is like I'm getting this image of like water, like the bottom of the ocean. It's really dark, right? And I'm getting this picture of like somebody just floating in the water. Just floating. And then being brought down. And then being brought down. And then being brought down. And now you're like on the very bottom of the ocean. And you don't know if you're breathing or not. But we have to check in and know that, hey, are you breathing? Are you alive in there? But it's like, you literally get stuck, okay, for a lot of us as well. You've been getting stuck, like you feel stuck, like you have moments where you get stuck, you feel stuck, you have moments where you don't know what to say, or even, it's a moment of like, should I say this or should I not say this? Okay, this is what's coming up in this season for some of us, okay? Like you're going to yourself, do I talk about this or do I not talk about this? Is this a good time to talk about this, or is it a time to just sit with it and then talk about it when we're ready, right? A lot of us are getting stuck. A lot of us are having moments where we just sit, something comes up, we're feeling the energy, and that's literally all we can do. Because if you move any faster, if you move any more than you should, it's like you missed something. Wow. Okay. I surrender to the boundless creative flow of the ocean. And I just said being in the bottom of the ocean. It's like while you're being brought down. Okay. Ooh, heavy emphasis on surrender. I surrender to the boundless creative flow of the ocean. And then I just seen the word surrender. It's like while you are being taken down, you still have that attitude of gratitude, an attitude of like optimism. I'm still going to push through. It's like, even though I'm being taken down, and even though I know that I've been being taken down on purpose intentionally, I have this attitude of pushing through and rising. It's your fuel. I shoot for the stars. Radiance is my birthright. It's your fuel. It literally is how he is in motion, like that. So determined to go to war, so determined to fight for my country, so determined to fight for my self-government, so determined to fight for what is rightfully mine. So determined to go after your dreams, your goals, your vision. So determined, and you're just fired up at this point, really. We're just fired up at this point. It's like you are either leaning into more of what is good or what is not good. You're finding yourself right now in this season leaning towards good or what is not good. And there's no in between. There's no in between. Either you're of good or you're not of good. And it's like, that's where you choose. And a lot of us stay here, right? Which is also causing a lot of this fire. If we were to look at it from a bigger perspective, how it is also causing the rest of us, right? So when we're being taken down, your attitude at this point is what matters. Our attitude at this point is what matters. How we use, how everything that we're doing to ourselves at this point and saying to ourselves is a curse moving forward. You guys, everything that we say to ourselves at this point moving forward is a curse. It's a curse on yourself. You have and have been cursing yourself. So crazy. Okay. There is a lot of soothing happening. And also I feel like there's a lot of mirroring happening. Like, it's very hard for us to, like, it's easier for us to love people and to be kind to people, but when it comes to being kind to ourselves, it becomes harder for some reason. It's harder to love yourself than to actually love people. I'm getting that while we may be in this season where a lot is being mirrored, okay, it's like you looking at yourself in the mirror and accepting the person you're seeing in front of you, right? But doing that to somebody else, okay, that's what I'm getting, but I feel like I'm getting something else. It's like you looking at someone and accepting them for who they are, as they are with you. The mirror effect. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Is like in this season, a lot of us are looking at somebody, either you accept them or you don't. And then it's the same with you. How do I see myself? And when I look at myself in the mirror, who do I see? What do I see? Right? It's a time to also get really quiet and really listen into the fight, the battles, okay, the war, okay. But it's like the goal here is to get quiet in the mind, right? And I'm getting like for some of us, we haven't had that quiet in the mind. Like I said, it's easier to love people, but it's harder to love yourself. And it's like, going back to what I was saying about when somebody is carrying guilt and shame, you can't help but to keep lying. You can't help when you stay in that energy. You keep on attracting that kind of energy, but also like you keep on attracting it because you want to stay there, right? I'm getting the Disney Pinocchio. I got that, you know, every time he lies, his nose get bigger, right? It's like that. Every time you lie, each time you lie and each time you do something evil, each time you intentionally plan on something evil, each time you intentionally try to do something that is not good for you and not good for other people, but each time you try and do something that is not good, it's like something grows, something else grows. And then that too, one day you're going to have to collect. You're going to have to fix it, put it back together. So it's not so big anymore. That's what I'm getting. That's like the image that I'm getting. I don't know if that was like a good interpretation for some of you guys, but it's like creating a bigger problem when you could have prevented it in the first place. You just created something bigger. It's like that. Like you just created something bigger when it could have been prevented. It's like choosing to not be good than to practice patience, self-compassion, than to practice on nourishing your body and resting when you know you're tired. It's not so much of like, when I am feeling this way, you know when to be self-aware, to not abuse your body when you're feeling tired, when you're feeling weary, when you're feeling like, you know, you're hopeless, you're helpless. It's knowing when to take that break and to rest, and not sabotaging or abusing yourself even more than you already are. And then abusing other people around you. You're abusing other people around you because the abuse is within you. We are abusing others because we don't know how to take care of ourselves. This wildfire is getting bigger because we're not self-aware. As within, so without. What we do to ourselves is exactly what we're going to do to this world, our planet, our home. So just like Pinocchio, it's like things grow when you lie and you create something that was not supposed to be created in the first place, but you created it, and now you got to get rid of it. It's like when you lie, each time you lie, you like plant your seeds, places and people and places. When you lie, you create something here, you create something there and there and there and there and there. And then the consequences of that is you having to pick that up and taking it out of the ground. How are you going to do that? You know what I'm saying? It's like creating a problem, and then at the end you're going, why did I create this problem? And now I have to do something about this, right? It's being settled in the court. But I don't want to go to court, but it's being settled in the court now because you created something. It's like you created some. It's like somebody whining and moping and groaning. Gosh. It's very uncomfortable, but it's like somebody moaning and groaning and whining, and they're going, but I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to do that either. But you created it. You just don't want to take responsibility for literally the shit that you've been laying around. It's like a dog pooping here and in here and here and in here and in here, right? It's like laying out your BS everywhere, but not taking accountability and responsibility for it. Okay. It's like some of us are whining and groaning and moping that we don't want to fix it. It's like that. And so it's like, you see, that's where it comes from. This is where, ooh, this is incredible. Okay. It's like, instead of, and hear me when I say that, instead of like moping and groaning and whining, instead, what happens when you choose to get up and do something about it and take accountability for it, and you know you did something wrong, and you're out here like admitting to yourself the faults, the mistakes that you've done, and you're doing something about it. The transformation energy that you are now bringing to yourself is like maximizing your frequency, because you're choosing to be a good attitude than staying in what is not so good. I keep going back to this card. Okay. There are some things, I'm getting that there are some things I'm gonna get a tiny tarot. There are some things to understand. For yourself. And this is the part where I say, because understanding it for yourself only, you create a relationship with you and spirit. You align yourself, excuse me, you align yourself with your spirit, you and spirit. And it becomes a very sacred space for you and the I. When there is something to truly deeply understand for yourself, take that chance to sit with yourself and you only, because this sacred space that you're creating and understanding, it's helping you build a relationship with yourself. It's helping you build a union, a reunion even with yourself. So you're not projecting anger and fire out and spewing out fire. It's a taking accountability, and I'm going to go in. And I'm getting like, I don't need to harm people anymore. I don't need to involve anybody anymore. You see, I feel like the getting people involved comes from lack of self-awareness, right? But also it's also lack of self-awareness on others, because they would not get involved with other people's BS if they were self-aware, right? Like, if you know what inner peace looks like and feels like, then you wouldn't go out and sabotage another's inner peace. So if we find ourselves to be sabotaging other people's inner peace and you find pleasure in that, I mean, first of all, you're evil. Second of all, you're actually not moving anywhere. That's when it becomes a concern. I have the 9 of Pentacles. Okay. This is about independence and self. I think we are being asked to pay attention to ourselves and then love the self. Pay attention to yourself and then maybe start with understanding the self before you can even love the self. I love you guys so much. My name is Kimber. All of my information will be in the description box below. You guys already know I'm sending you so much love and support at this time. Love and peace. I'll see you in the next. Bye.